Hello, hello. Let's make some beautiful, continuous, and ergonomic handles, yeah? Here at my main workbench, I have this tool chest underneath, and incidentally, my workbench is seldom, if ever, that cleared off, right? Let me set this guy down. And when I built this tool chest, I wanted a mechanic style handle, something that was continuous. So if I reach down and grab this left end, or over here on the right end, didn't matter. So very ergonomic, maybe a little utilitarian, but highly functional. Here's a bit of a close-up of these handles. And incidentally, this is kind of like a hybrid between an overlay and an inset. You can see this angle of 12, 15 degrees, whatever it is. So it has this corresponding angle on the cabinet and the drawer front. And so when that closes, it literally just indexes into place, right? And you can see here's the handle. And on this particular cabinet, I put a cove on these drawer fronts so I could make this handle a little bit narrower, but I've done different ways. Sometimes you can just put a cove here in the middle, or continuous all the way across, or make this wider and not put a cove. A lot of variable aspects to making this handle. Yeah, so these are Bubinga handles on solid ambrosia maple drawer fronts to match the rest of the bench. To start, we need a squared piece of wood. Square, I mean true, flat, straight, all that. So this has been ran through the joiner, and then the edges are squared, ran through the planer to make it consistent, 3/8 thick. Now, proportionately, I like the 3/8 thickness, and so that's what I start with. And these are easy to find in a 3/8. I believe this is called a double roundover. Of course, they make these in 7/16, ½ inch, all kinds of different sizes. Incidentally, I do like the ½ inch shank for router bits. They just a little bit more robust, chatter less. And anyway, that's 3/8 diameter. So from one part of the carbide to the other is 3/8, and that'll match the thickness of material you're using. 3/8 in this case. Here's another one by Amana from Tools Today. Fantastic bit. And this is ultimately what we're after, right? So that's a 3/8 diameter from there to there, 3/8 thickness. It also makes 3/8 like a round on the end, right? Here's one in cherry. Of course, those are walnut. Kind of weird. Look how dramatically different those two look, even though they're both walnut. Here's one in oak that hasn't been cut at the table saw, but you can see how the profile, we start with that, then we make that cut. So let's put one of these in the router table and make a cut. Here at the router table, we have the bit installed, and we have one corner of that cutter just flush with the router table, and we can fine tune that as we get going. Also, this round edge here, we want that even with the fence. And you might not have a piece yet because you haven't made one, but simple to just kind of eyeball it, get it close, and then we'll further refine and make an adjustment. Right? Vacuum, hearing. Let's make a cut. Oopsie, the vacuum hose may have been touching the tripod there. Kind of shaky. Okay, that's about right. You can see, I think you can see just a little bit of a cut there, which means I could bring the router bit up. Smooth transition there. And it's just making it round without taking any off the edge. You can check that. If you have a little bit of a gap there, it won't hurt anything. It's just that when you pass through, it's going to dig in this last little bit, kind of a snipe. You could actually put a couple of pieces of tape to match that. A lot of ways to do things, but essentially we're just trying to get that round right to that edge. So I'm going to drop this bit, or raise this bit up slightly and give it a pass. Okay, perfect. You can see it's not cutting in on either side. It's right to the edge. I can see a bit of light underneath that cutter, so that means as I pass by that fence, it's going to drop in there. But You're gonna make this wild, so it doesn't really matter. Not super critical. Now we want to make this cut first, and it's just easier. I guess you could make either one, but I like standing it vertical and making that cut first. So let's do that. All right, there you go. Pretty straightforward, right? So we ran it like that. We'll just simply run it like this, and then we'll take it to the table saw. So one more cut. I don't know if that shows up, but there's that little bit of snipe at the end. Really doesn't matter that much, but you can see how simple, quick, and easy that is to make. So now we simply just have to cut this here at the table saw. And you might think this is a little bit thin, but I've been doing these for quite a while, at least since 2013 for that guy. And I've never broke one. I've actually had things hit this. So even though this is only 3/16 thick, it's pretty strong. There you have it. It's literally that easy. Now you can clean up these saw marks. I've got a little bit of a, you can see right there. You can use a shoulder plane or a scraper. Number of ways to do this. And that's it. I like sanding these before I apply it to the drawer front. And when I apply it to the drawer front, I add glue, of course, and I tend to put it on this way and squeegee that glue back. That way you don't get glue in here that would be awkward or hard to clean. And you could pin it in place with a 23 gauge. Typically, these end up about 1.5 inches. Of course, that's going to suit your particular application. You can make this smaller in this direction and simply add a cove here to add a little bit of a finger relief. Lots of different options for doing these. And then, of course, you can shape these different ways, and I'll show you, or you've seen different photos or videos of the different configurations for the ends of these handles. But continuous handle, super quick, super easy.
All right, there you have it. Here are a few clips of these types of handles in place. Of course, here I've got these two top hidden or concealed drawers, jewelry with jewelry trays. I just wanted that to look like a top rail of this dresser, and then you can see the handles there on the drawer fronts. In addition to gluing these types of handles to a solid wood construction like a drawer front, you can make doors or drawer fronts with this type of construction, which is sometimes referred to as a frame and panel. Or glued directly to something like this, which is plywood that's just edge banded. Another solid wood configuration and half-blind dovetails. This is part of the same piece. This is actually the door, frame and panel. And I guess you could call these frame and panel. These panels are actually constructed with epoxy and aquarium gravel. Here you can see how that top rail and handle integrate beautifully. And here on this particular piece, I have these solid wood 5-piece construction drawer fronts and doors, and I incorporated this crazy texture. Anyway, thanks a ton for watching. Hope this helps somebody out there. Make your day great.